Hello there and welcome to Marketing Edge on TV, Nigerians' leading initiative in the business of brand management and in the management of brand business. It is a 30-minute potpourri of brand news, branding focus, and industry conversation, all in a mix, encompassing thorough and in-depth, all aimed at promoting the brand idea. I'm Ogali Abikele Mafuru.
It's insightful, it's exciting, it's enriching. It's Marketing Edge on TV, a half-hour TV show on the business of brand management and the management of brand business. Marketing Edge on TV is a potpourri of juicy and exclusive industry news on brands, advertising, media, PR, brand and focus, industry conversation, and the entire gamut of integrated marketing communications business. It's a business show with glamour and grandeur. We serve you hot and sizzling with all ingredients in the mix. Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand ideal.
Good to have you back. First on Marketing Edge on TV, it's brand news, where we bring you the latest developments around brands and in the field of marketing, advertising, and communication in Nigeria and around the world. Now on brand news. The Registrar of the Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCON, Dr. Lekon Fadolapo, has charged all stakeholders of the advertising industry to comply with the set guidelines stipulated in the recently instituted Advertising Industry Standard of Practice (ISOP), as it is geared towards repositioning the industry for inclusiveness and growth. The registrar, who gave this charge in an interview with Marketing Edge, disapproved any kind of action or statement that negates the provisions of the new guidelines, noting that ISOP will be beneficial to all and sundry in the advertising industry and the country at large. While stating that the industry has witnessed an accelerated shift in advertising spend from traditional media to digital media, the APCON umpire said the agency, in a bid to reorganize the business of advertising practice in Nigeria, instituted the new framework to address critical issues that are stifling the growth of the industry. According to the regulatory boss, ISOP, which is in line with the federal government policy focused on stimulating economic growth, was instituted after due consultations with all stakeholders and does not contravene any section of the Constitution. Nigeria's leading financial service provider, First Bank of Nigeria Limited, has reiterated its commitment to youth empowerment and entrepreneurship through the celebration of its ongoing 2021 Youth Week. The Youth Week theme, "The Future is Now, Let's Take Over," started on Monday, 8th November 2021. The event comprises a variety of activities which include youth-themed future forward activities, first at Acts Creative Artistry Empowerment Workshop, grooming and wellness workshops, digital engagement, virtual mini concerts, and many more. Each activity is associated with various gift items, including gift vouchers and cash prizes. The Advertisers Association of Nigeria (ADVAN) has said that the evaluation and selection process of the ADVAN Annual Awards, scheduled for November 21st, 2021 in Lagos, meets global best practice and standard and can be accepted anywhere in the world. Speaking in a statement, the Executive Secretary of ADVAN, Ediri Ose Ediali, said the awards is the most celebrated event in the nation's marketing communications industry, adding that the ADVAN Awards are only presented after a transparent and thorough evaluation process based on laid down best practice parameters. The theme of this year's ADVAN Awards for Marketing Excellence West Africa is Future Fit Marketing. An event will be held at Musin Center, Onikon, Lagos. The categories to be awarded this year include Brand of the Year, People's Brand of the Year, Marketing Professional of the Year, Innovation Campaign of the Year, Digital and Social Media Marketing, Legacy Brand, Indigenous Brand of the Year, amongst others. Modium Communications, Nigeria's fast-growing public relations and marketing communications solutions providing agency, has announced that its 2020 Social Impact campaign emerged in the top 10 2021 Global Cyber Awards. The campaign, touching lives through a determined school child, Dele Fatia, ranked 7th in the overall 2021 Global Cyber Awards, the first time an African PR agency would reach that level since the continent's inclusion in the global competition. Commenting on the award, the Chief Executive Officer, Mojum Communications, Odion Alebua, said the historic finish by the agency is a clear expression of the capacity to deliver impactful campaigns that reverberate globally. The recognition by Saba jury affirms that our strategic ideas and creative solutions offered to our various clients are relevant and competitive globally. Advertising professionals have charged practitioners in the industry to harness and hone the advertising craft through creativity to help achieve a memorable and enduring impression in the mind of the audience. Speaking on the need to optimize the advertising solutions, the experts who spoke to Marketing Edge in separate interviews argued that advertisers are now seeking alternative and other perspective to win bigger market share through creativity as a catalyst to change consumers' negative perceptions towards a brand. The experts who averred that innovation is to industry what creativity is to advertising charge creative agencies to ensure they come up with materials that are enduring, emotive, and consumer-oriented.
Well, that was brand news. Next is branding focus after this break.
Christmas cloth again. Christmas no be one day o. With this and this and this, every day na Christmas with Glow Berekete plus. And I fit dey flex my sweet movies anytime.
Glow Breakator Plus is here, and every day is now Christmas. Existing Glow customers will get 400% bonus on every recharge and 100 MB data bonus on first recharge of the month. New Glow customers will get 1,000 Naira welcome bonus. To activate, buy a new Glow SIM today or dial *777# for existing Glow customers.
Every day na Christmas with the Glow Berekete plus.
Sure, Danny. This one where you did Christmas mood so.
See you with this and this and this every day na Christmas with Glow Berekete plus. Now I feel listen to all my favorite jams all night long.
Glow Breakator Plus is here, and every day is now Christmas. Existing Glow customers will get 400% bonus on every recharge and 100 MB data bonus on first recharge of the month. New Glow customers will get 1,000 Naira welcome bonus. To activate, buy a new Glow SIM today or dial *777# for existing Glow customers.
Every day na Christmas with the Glow Berekete plus.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand ideal.
Now on Brand in Focus. Streets of major cities around the world are teeming with traffic. Cinemas are booming and restaurant crowds are spilling over into the streets with consumers at every table inside and out. The outdoor energy is once again palpable. While consumers are out and about in droves and driving around at or flying above pre-pandemic levels, COVID-19 has permanently shifted consumer behaviors, and brands must shift how they are planning and allocating media too. Advertisers must also take a more agile approach to their media investments and even look closer at the delivery of their ads. Out-of-home OOH advertising, though worst hit during the pandemic lockdown, is back on its feet, offering brands massive reach and measurable solutions that help them connect with audience in unique ways that truly influence outcomes. As the global economy rebounds, brands need to know and do more about OOH to enhance their customers' experience going into 2022. Because OOH builds a bridge between physical and digital worlds, brands need to leverage it to build connections with consumers. The pandemic has radically altered consumers' typical daily journeys. So what does this mean for brands? Even though they are on different journeys, brands still can reach consumers wherever they are via OOH because it offers a 360 brand experience where customers drive walk or fly. What's more, brands are now integrating OOH with social media to create capturable moments, and the result is hugely effective. OOH is the only medium that is considered shareable, and marketers should develop the kind of experiential and visually stunning campaigns that entice a wide array of consumer groups to be sure their brands are seen with their ad campaigns. With the digital revolution accelerated by COVID-19, OOH is now more data-driven, which allows for highly customized solutions to measure, plan, and optimize campaigns as part of media mix. Therefore, going into 2022, out-of-home practitioners must constantly evolve their solutions to meet the ever-changing needs of advertisers. This will continuously empower advertisers with the data they need to improve the effectiveness of their campaigns while helping brands elevate the customer experience. Ultimately, in 2022, programmatic digital OOH, PDOOH, should be part of every brand's digital advertising plan. PDOH can be activated similarly to digital programmatic buys, including real-time, data-driven targeting, and audience-focused buying. Put simply, it's everything advertisers know and love about OOH, just bought in a new way. It offers the scale, reach, and creativity that make OOH advertising so popular and enduring, and advertisers can purchase PDOH across most OOH formats, whether it is billboard, airports, digital network, or massive OOH screens.
Well, that was Branding Focus. Next is Industry Conversation, where we have interactions with distinguished personalities in the field of advertising, marketing, and communication in Nigeria and around the world. Well, today on Industry Conversation, we'll be speaking with the Registrar of the Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, Dr. Lekon Fadolapo, after this break.
Makanaki of life. What's in the totori you like this now?
Wahala for who no dey happy o, because every day na Christmas with glow berekete plus with this and this and this. I fit just dey call everybody for my village, begin dey wish them Merry Christmas.
Glow Bracket Plus Plus is here, and every day is now Christmas. Existing Glow customers will get 400% bonus on every recharge and 100 MB data bonus on first recharge of the month. New Glow customers will get 1,000 Naira welcome bonus. To activate, buy a new Glow SIM today or dial *777# for existing Glow customers.
Every day na Christmas with the glow berekete plus.
Now everybody knows I'm the man. Ooh, happy man. Ooh,
Enjoy the reward that sharing brings with the Airtel Family Plan. Get bonus talk time, SMS, and data for each family member you share with. Dial *141# now.
now everybody knows I'm the man. Hey.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand ideal.
Hello there and welcome to Industry Conversation, a segment on Marketing Edge on TV where high-ranking and industry thought leaders deliberate on critical issues that concerns the advertising industry, marketing and communication in Nigeria and around the world. Well, today on Industry Conversation, we'll be speaking with the Registrar of the Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCON, Dr. Lekon Fadolapo. So pleased to have you with us on Industry Conversation.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you.
You're very much welcome.
Thank you very much.
Well, Dr. Lekon Fadolapo is the Registrar of the Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria until his appointment. He was the Executive Director of the Association of Advertising Agencies of Nigeria, AAAN. So pleased to have you with us again. You're welcome.
Good afternoon, madam. Good afternoon.
Well, as the regulator of the advertising industry, what would you identify some of the challenges that you've encountered as a regulator?
Yeah, the challenge of our industry. When I assumed duty, the problem facing the industry can be classified into two. We have the problem of the practice of advertising, and we have the problem of the business of advertising. So for me, I look at this issue basically from those two standpoints, and I felt like we need to do things that we strengthen the practice, the industry from those two areas. At least if we are able to get that right, we have a stronger industry.
Okay, so what were the steps you took in, mitigating some of these challenges you just enumerated?
Before now, most of the concentration of APCON has been more on the practice of advertising. If you check the advertising code, it's more of the practice of advertising. What is the watershed? When should you advertise this? What are the procedures for you to advertise? What are the framework for every advertisement in terms of legality, in terms of the truthfulness of it, in terms of superlative word and all those things. So we have a framework on ground. Now, when it comes to the business of advertising, it's been more of auto-run. That has been a major challenge. So if you don't look at the business of advertising and you concentrate more on the practice of advertising, then there's going to be a major challenge. So that created a lot of gap. That created a big issue for practitioners or for operators within the industry. So coming to this seat, I felt like since most efforts have been concentrated on the practice of advertising, we just need to look at what we have on ground and how we can up that. Then on the business of advertising, we need to start afresh. So that's what leads to some of the new initiatives that we are pushing as a regulator.
Yes, we understand that the industry, ISOP, industry standard of practice is, currently being unveiled by your agency. But before we get there, let us get your assessment of the advertising industry this year.
Wow, the industry has really not been buoyant in terms of advertising spend. Basically, if you ask me, I will tell you that this year and last year was a lot low in terms of advertising spend. In the last 5 years, the industry has not witnessed advertising spend growth, but there has been shift in the spend from the traditional media to digital media. So the advertisers are moving more funds into the new digital space. Okay. So that has also shrink the spend on the traditional media, and that has also reduced the income to the traditional media space owners.
Okay, so what would you say is the turning point for your agency this year?
Well, the turning point for us is the ISOP, the Advertising Industry Standard of Practice. Basically, when I assumed duty, one of the few things I did was to speak to all the sectoral groups and what do you guys want us to do, and how do you think we can up the trade, provide the healthy environment just like every other regulator. And the common denominator is help us look at the terms of trade, terms of engagement. Let us look at the business leg of this whole conversation so that we can have a better industry. So we set up a committee headed by Mr. Fumi Onobulu. Fortunately, this advertising industry reform is not new in the plate. The first time that the Governing Council of APCON made the pronunciation or proclamation on the advertising industry reform was in 2012. So after that, there was an issue of dissolution of the council, the constitution of the council, and so the industry reform was left where it was. So when I came up, I wrote to the Honorable Minister to say, this is the challenge we are facing as an industry. We need to implement the advertising industry reform. And so we got the approval of the Honorable Minister, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, to go ahead and implement the advertising industry reform. This reform is in phases, but the general focus is how do we develop our industry. So the leg that has to do with the practice of advertising, that's the review of the advertising code. We set up a committee. So the committee was asked to look at the code. Now, we wrote to all the sectoral groups to send us representatives, which they did. So we set up a committee to look at the current code. The last time the fifth code was reviewed was also 9 years ago. Between that time and now, so many things have happened. For example, 10 years ago, outdoor was static. In this current, technology has changed the face of out of home to the extent that LCD now shows animated and unanimated motion and all those things. So we as regulators need to be ahead of the operators. Yes. So, and our code must align with new realities. So we set up a committee to look at the code and come up with recommendation. So we also set up a committee to look at the business, because the business leg has always been on auto run. So we set up a committee. We wrote to all the sectoral groups and they sent their representatives. We inaugurated the committee. The committee came up with their proposal. We presented the proposal to the Honorable Minister with some consultation, after some consultation, additional consultation, and the Minister approved the proposal. So after the approval, the next thing was for us to make the announcement. So the report of the committee on advertising industry standard of practice came before the report of the code review committee. Okay. So we now made the pronouncement after we got the approval of the Honorable Minister to introduce the advertising industry standard of practice. Recently, last week precisely, we were also able to get the approval of the Honorable Minister for us to implement the revised code, which we'll be doing in the next few weeks. Okay,
let's talk a bit about the advertising industry standard of practice you just mentioned. There've been a sort of pushback, by some stakeholders who are not quite comfortable with your stance, in terms of the business angle of advertising you just talked about. What would be your response to those, sets of stakeholders?
I think we need to look at this critically and objectively. Number one, the ISOP. If we're looking at the ISOP, does the ISOP align with federal government policy? The answer is yes. There was a directive from the federal government to all the ministries and the departments and agencies to say, come up with policies that are going to strengthen the economy post-COVID. Okay. So that policy is there. And if you check the recent executive orders signed by the president, if I am right, I think executive order number 10, it has to even do with encouraging local production of engaging local engineers and local experts and encouraging the development of each sector using the local facilities. Now, the second thing is, does the ISOP breach any part of the Constitution? The answer is also no. Mm-hmm. Then, if you're not looking at it in the best interest of the public, is it in the best interest of the public? Does it promote equity, fairness? And the answer is yes. Well, let me state here that all the sectoral groups align with ISOP, except for ADVAN. ADVAN, which is Advertisers Association of Nigeria, is the only sectoral group that has come to say we did not align with ISOP. And ISOP is just to promote equity. to ensure that unethical practices in the industry are minimized to the barest minimum, and to ensure that there is fairness in the trade. So it has nothing to, ISOP is not targeted at anybody. It's targeted at growing the advertising industry in Nigeria. So I will not be surprised that there is pushback, but as regulator, we will continue to engage all the sectoral groups.
Well said. Well, let's look ahead. You have been, at the helm of affairs in APCON. How would you describe the APCON before and now?
Well, we may not be moving at the speed the industry was expecting us to. Some move at geometrical speed, 2, 4, 8. Some at arithmetical speed, 1, 2, 3. Even if it is a snail speed, we have made progress in the last 12 months. When I assumed duty as the 4th registrar of APCON, APCON has 15 offices nationwide. The last time enforcement was carried out in Bayelsa was like 3 years ago. The last time enforcement was carried out in Delta was like 2-3 years ago. Likewise, Abeokuta A. So in the last 12 months, what we did was to create new presence in all the states. We have opened 16 new offices across the nation. Out of that 16, what we did was to first unbundle Lagos. Lagos State is a very big, huge market. And without missing what, Lagos State is responsible for not less than 40% of the entire spent, if not more, of the entire country. So we created 6 new offices within Lagos. Then we now expand our operations in all those states that we consider strategic to advertising business. We have an office in Bayelsa now. We have an office in Akure now. We have an office in Abeokuta now, and other states like that, Delta, Calabar, and other states like that. So in the last 12 months, we've pushed the frontier to ensure that we have our presence in additional states.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the brand ideal.
Without the much we can take on Marketing Edge on TV, the second part of our conversation with the registrar will be coming same time next week. Do well to join us then. I'm Ogali Abikele Maferu. Bye for now.